welcome to another Facebook Live here at the Spoken Learning Facebook page. Today I'm bringing you a topic that is very interesting because me as a language learner, I can tell that sometimes it gets completely hard to improve in our language because we really don't know how to keep on doing that besides the school salon. See, so what we're going to do today, as you can see, I am bringing you some tips so you can get better at your Spanish learning. But before we start, please remember that here in Spoken Learning you can learn or get better at your Spanish if you are 3 years old and up, or if you want just to get to know more people or just to practice your Spanish. Please call or text 832-413-3166 so you can schedule a private lesson with us. Okay, with nothing else to add, let's start with today's presentation. Okay, as I said before, I know that sometimes can be really difficult to make our language learning, in this case our Spanish learning, um something more real. Okay, so these tips are focused on making language more real because we usually when we learn, we're just used to take the lessons in class and never get to apply them in a real life environment. So in this way you can, at least try to get more involved at the language so you can get better at it. Okay, so the first tip will be post it all. And by post it, I mean the little post-its, okay? So this might sound weird, but you can make post-its or cards or just stamps in everything that you can see or touch or take so you can remember the way it's said in Spanish. So for example, if I have here one vaso, one cup, I can just put a post in here and then say vaso so I can remember everything. And I know this might sound silly, I guess, but with this one, remembering the vocabularies that you see will be easier because you will be getting used to how do you say it in Spanish. Okay, another way that doesn't involve post-its and paper, you can just, like, for example, if you're going to grab something, you can say, oh, I don't know, the spoon, la cuchara, okay, in your mind, so you can like try to remember all the time. The thing here is that you have to try to have more, like, you can try to have the more um vocabulary that you have, or try to remember it also. If you evolve it to once and one all over and over again, you can like try to, you can get better at memorizing, and that will be easier at the time when you're taking your classes. Okay, so the second one would be read lyrics and listen to music. If you are a person that really likes and enjoy listening to music, you can start looking for music in Spanish. Okay, so for example, there are a lot of artists who had like their lyrics in English, like as the official lyrics, and then they have a version of the song in Spanish. This happens a lot. So you can try to look for those kind of songs, and then just try to read the lyrics or follow the lyrics or learn the song. This is a great way because our ear gets used to it, and then we get just better, like really good at it, at understanding the yeah, I forgot the word, like the velocity of the songs, the speed of the songs, and the speed of the language, so you can get used to understanding it a little bit better. Then, tip number 3, download language learning apps. There are a lot of language learning apps. I would suggest you to download all those kind of apps where you can make an cultural exchange. For example, there's this one called Tandem, and in this one you can teach someone the language that they are learning, and they will speak the language that you want to learn. So you match with someone who's learning your language, and then who's speaking the language you're trying to learn. So this is a good way to have like more real conversations in a more real life environment, because we get to talk and to know each other like in real life. And also these kind of apps usually have a translation tool, and they have like vocabulary. Some of them they also um, offer classes and things like that. So it's a good way to get used to the language in a in a real way. Then we have immerse yourself in the language. If you don't have a place where people speak a lot of Spanish, then you can do everything. You can look for movies, look for songs, watch TV shows, watch soap operas. For example, in Mexico, we have a lot of soap operas that you can use. But yeah, the thing here is that you need to get used to listening to the language, thinking on the language, because that's what's going to make you better at learning it than just um, learning it at school. Okay. Also, podcasts are a really great tool. There are a lot of podcasts in Spanish, English, and in any language that you want to learn. So it's a good way to try to work out that brain to it get used to the language. Then, number five, take classes with native people. Usually, native speakers have a more cultural sharing thing than people who obviously has learned the language and it's just like teaching it. So a great way to improve is to taking classes with native people, because they will actually just going to give you like all the information that you need to be in a real life environment. As I said, language learning is not about just learning stuff, not like just learning the language, but to get to understand why people think that like they think, why they say the things they say, how they think, you know. So yeah, it's a great tool. In spoken learning, you can take classes with native speakers. I am myself a native speaker Spanish, so what a great way to improve than learning with the pros. And number six, join language exchanges. Maybe this one cannot be in a very okay, maybe if you live in a place where you're like super far away from Spanish, you won't be able to do it like in person, right? But you can always do it online. There are a lot of sites and there are a lot of places where when you can just exchange language and culture. And as I said before, this is the best way to learn, because you get used to the people, to how they speak, to what they say, you know? And yeah, this is like to me the best way, because you're like using it in a more real life, because in school you will be learning like, oh, the vocabulary, oh, this or that, but you won't be really using it. So you have to practice a lot, and nothing better than to practice with a native speaker or with people that are used to the language. Muy bien. So to me, that would be it. I hope that you enjoyed these tips, and I hope that this can be helpful for you. So please don't forget that in here we provide private lessons, and we teach children and adults starting 3 years old and up. So please call or text 832-413-3166 if you want to schedule a private lesson with us. So that will be it, and see you next time.